Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're figuring out which series is the best for you. The winner will have won the most categories. Whoever gets first place for the category gets 2 points. Whatever game gets second gets 1, and whatever game gets third gets 0 points. Trying to figure out which is the best: Halo, COD, or Battlefield. The categories are weapons and equipment, vehicles, PvE mode, multiplayer, campaign. And this video is mostly my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please write it down in the comments and enjoy. Category 1, weapons and equipment, soldier gameplay and movement. First category, well, okay, I already said that. Gotta stop copying scripts. Every weapon in Halo has its own role in a gunfight. Weapons are very awesome. They're super cool looking. There's a lot of them. Grenades are also just as satisfying as the guns themselves. And can be done with a lot of trick shots. Let me tell you, some cross-map stickies. It's crazy. And equipment is very powerful. All do something very different. You can find them on the map. Some of them make you invisible for a certain amount of time. Another gives you like triple the health, called an overshield. I think it's like triple the health. Not quite sure. But there's a lot of power-ups. Like some of them put in a heal like Aurora thing. It's like dust. It just heals you. You can drop down bubble shields. There can be anti-vehicle weapons, anti-soldier weapons. The list goes on and on. There's lots of cool stuff to do. It all works out good.
Let's do this.
Now, Call of Duty's weapons and equipment. So, COD Soldier gameplay mainly focuses on just your main firearm. The weapons have little to no recoil, and some of them are realistic, some of them are not. Lethal grenades are usually the same. Some of them just stick and don't go as far. The effect is ultimately like the same. There is fire grenades, but it's not like anything like to get me jumping happy when I see them, or when I see I have them in my inventory. They really are not too much different from each other. And your tactical could be a stun. Tacticals are interesting because there's a lot of different tacticals. I mean, stun and flash do basically the same thing. Leave your enemies so they're not able to move and see and all that. Or you can do a heartbeat sensor. You can see people, see where they are, like on a tablet. Like, so let's say they're within 100 feet, you can see them on your heartbeat sensor. And also, perks are part of your loadout. So perks can do a lot of things. They can hide you from things like heartbeat sensors, or make you, like EOD, you take less explosive damage. Or what else? There is High Alert, which if someone's looking at you, aiming at you, it tells you where they're aiming at you from, and you can just run away and then come back because you know where they were looking at you from. Perks can give you a really large advantage over your enemy, or maybe not at all. But sometimes you can't really notice you have them on. They don't work in every single situation, but the situations they can work in, they are very powerful. And also another equipment, or whatever you would like to call it, is kill streak. So let's say I get 3 kills, I can get a UAV that tells me where everybody is on the enemy team. Or I can get let's say a chopper gunner. It's a helicopter that has turrets on it, can patrol the map, blast everybody to the stratosphere. You know, kill streaks are very overpowered. I mean, they are cool, but they are pretty OP. Sometimes they're balanced, sometimes they're not. And they do give you a very good advantage if you get enough kills. In Battlefield, there are 4 different types of classes. There's the sniper, the support, the engineer, or the medic. Sometimes changes throughout the games, and then there's the assault. They all have different roles in each game. I mean, the sniper is always the same. The medic does the same thing. Each class is very interesting equipment. Some of them are even like repairing vehicles or anti-vehicles. The equipment is very useful. Not as useful like as your primary firearm, but it's not like total like you like rely on it just like in Call of Duty. You rely on your main firearm. In Battlefield, you definitely need a firearm, but it's not like completely relied on. The guns look and sound amazing. The recoil is pretty realistic, and equipment can actually change the tide of Battlefield a lot, though. Like, you don't have to rely on equipment or your main firearm, but they're both definitely needed. There's pretty good balance of them. So, who do I think wins this category? Now, in my opinion, I think it goes to Halo because your main firearm is only one part of what is needed. Like in Battlefield, equipment is useful, but like it's not as useful as your main firearm. It's pretty balanced, but compared to Halo, it is like Halo, you need equipment, otherwise you're gonna die so much. Call of Duty, it really just is using your main firearm for the most part, and then activate your kill streak. But kill streak works by itself, and you don't do anything to it. Sometimes kill streaks are controlled by you, makes it more fun, but usually they're not controlled by you. So it's just kind of like free kills sometimes. And I think Halo's is probably some of the most balanced too. So Halo gets 2 points, Battlefield gets 1, and COD gets 0. Category 2, vehicles. So in Halo, vehicles are very powerful, but also have quite a few counters. Like for example, you can use equipment and grenades, like I said in the last category, they're super useful, to slow it down, and maybe you can get on it and then hijack it. There's a lot of vehicles, and they all do different jobs. Tanks are for pushing objectives and soaking up a lot of damage. Some are for distracting enemies, such as like a Mongoose, which is a four-wheeler, drives super fast, keeps their fire on it. Or there's something like taking control of the skies, like a Banshee or a Falcon. Falcon is just like a futuristic helicopter, 2 machine guns on the side, pretty fun to use. And the vehicles are so satisfying. They all look, sound, especially the alien ones, they just sound amazing. Next up is COD's vehicles. So, only a few games have vehicles. There's probably only like 4 of the games, I'm pretty sure. Now, every game has kill streaks, but those aren't technically classified as actual vehicles because they literally have no counters. They're just come in, destroy everybody. They have a certain time limit. Those aren't considered actual vehicles. And most of vehicles are in Warzone and campaigns, and to be honest, there's nothing crazy about them. The helicopters in Warzone actually are pretty smooth. They fly pretty smooth, but every other vehicle is just boring, man. Even like the dirt bikes, the new dirt bikes are not anything great. They just don't feel very smooth compared to Halos. And in campaigns, I don't think you even get to drive the vehicle. Usually you just you're just on the machine gun, reused at the same time over and over again in campaign. Battlefield vehicles. Now, Battlefield is actually known for its vehicles. They're easy, like, to get used to, take a little time, but not that complicated to get used to. But let me tell you, to master them takes so much skill and so much time. The vehicles are so satisfying as well. Like, the only thing is, in Battlefield, the vehicles, they don't have a whole lot of counters. Like if 6 soldiers have anti-vehicle weapons, I mean, I don't think it's gonna do a whole lot to the vehicle. Vehicles are very hard to take down in Battlefield, but especially in Battlefield 1, because it's a World War I game, there's not much to take down a vehicle. But despite balancing issues, I think Battlefield still gets the win just because of how in depth the vehicles go in. They're like easy to pick up but complicated to really be good with. And I think Battlefield gets 2 points, Halo gets 1, and COD gets 0. So next category is PvE mode, or player versus enemy. So PvE modes are usually 4 players against AI wave after wave. And Halo has Firefight, and it has a lot of custom features such as difficulty, amount of lives, skulls, which affect the gameplay and enemies a lot. Like maybe enemies throw more grenades or infinite ammo or like one shot per gun or something like that. And you can also change loadouts. The issue with Firefight is that it is repetitive and the enemies are identical to the ones in the campaign. I will say, even though they use the exact same AI from the campaign, the AI are still incredible. Like, it doesn't have, like, much variety. Like, it's not too much different from the campaign. It's really just, like, some longer sections of a campaign, for the most part. But with a little bit more customization. Like, skulls affect gameplay. Skulls are in campaign. There is custom option. Like, the skulls are pretty much custom options. To be honest, that's the most like customization you can get in Firefight. So, good mode. It just lacks variety from the campaign. Halo 4 and 5 both have their own mode. Halo 4 had Spartan Ops, and it really wasn't that much different for the
Gain the
path
lead.
to go to. So it was just like a campaign, but cheap. Halo 5 at Warzone Firefight, it was 8 players versus options, and it got harder all the time. No skulls or anything or real customization. But the weapons you can pick, the variants were awesome. And the bosses were
Lost
actually
the
pretty good
lead.
too, but
Tied the leader.
still prefer OG Firefight. Just that OG feel. And Halo 5,
Lost the lead.
I don't really like the
Tied
engine.
the leader. Lost the lead.
OG Halo Firefight is its main mode. COD's PvE mode is zombies, and let me tell you, oh my god, it's so good. It has so many enemies. There's so many different modes too. The bosses are challenging to fight, but not like overly stupid hard. Some modes are literally like mini campaigns. There's different like worlds to explore. Some are like survival, wave base. You have to find new weapons, power ups, ammo. Everything is balanced very well in zombies. And it starts off very easily, you know, going confident, but it gets very challenging. It's not like stupid challenging, like Halo 2 Legendary is super hard. It's not like over hard. And you can revive your teammates. It's just an awesome mode. Battlefield's PvE mode, only one game has it. Battlefield 5 has a PvE mode. Like I was talking about Halo 4 Spec Ops, it's pretty much that. No variety in AI, just boring. AI is not very good. I mean, it's just pretty much campaign at that point. Just like play the campaign, just 3 other players. Like campaign, but waiting for it to load like twice as long. Campaign, I'd say, is more worth playing. Other than that, Battlefield is no PvE mode. So COD takes the win for the PvE mode section, just the most variety in AI. So Call of Duty gets 2 points, gets its first 2. Halo gets 1 point, so it'll have 4, and Battlefield gets nothing. So I'll put the score on screen, and the next category will be multiplayer. So starting with Halo's multiplayer. It is so fun, so balanced, everything has a purpose. Teamwork makes everything so much better. Trick shots are probably some of the coolest I've ever seen in gaming. The time to kill is long, but it's not like insanely long. Kind of like medium. It's pretty good. And the maps are pretty big. Some of them are super small, depending on the mode. And my favorite modes are Big Team Battle and
5 minutes
Invasion.
remaining.
And the customization is great. You can make everything look awesome. The biggest flaw, the player count is the thing where it drops off, because the biggest currently is only 12v12, but more positives to make up for 12v12. Halo has Forge mode, so you can make your own maps, pretty much like Minecraft creative mode, except you can just make your own maps, place vehicles, and you can make new game modes, and without mods. All of this is without mods. You can place anything you want. and everything. Make new modes, make maps. It's great. And put it in custom games playlists so other people can play it. And maybe if you're lucky, 343, the Halo creators, might actually make it an official map in normal playlists instead of just custom games.
Bravo under
If you're lucky
attack.
enough to have that happen to you, it's awesome. Another thing is Halo has this theater mode, so you can actually watch past clips and make almost like movies out of them. Another thing you can make with Halo, it's awesome. Theater mode is pretty good. It's not like anything crazy, but you can definitely make some pretty cool stuff. Like one of my Halo 2 videos I put on YouTube, actually I had to use Forge mode to make it. Forge mode is awesome, custom games is awesome, normal multiplayer is awesome. I love Halo's multiplayer. Probably one of the best shooters. Next is COD's multiplayer, and let me tell you right now, the most popular mode is Warzone currently right now. A lot of you might know this, but it is full of cheaters. Like at least 2 people are cheating in the lobby. That's how bad the cheater problem is right now. The old Call of Duty multiplayer games are so good. A lot of them have super overpowered weapons, but that's the most fun part about them. They're just so much fun. I still play COD 4 to this day. It's so good. There's not many trick shots. I mean, and the games are pretty unbalanced, but that's actually probably one of the most fun parts because there's so many overpowered weapons. So fun. And the new ones are ruined with skill-based matchmaking, so you have to sweat every game. You have to deal with these streamers using only meta guns. It gets pretty annoying. Warzone, I don't like Warzone. It's garbage. It's so unbalanced. They release the most OP stuff just so everyone buys variants of them, and then they make it super bad, literally just to get some money. It's such a waste. At least 2 people are cheating. The toxic lobbies can be annoying, but they're so funny to listen to. People are so mean to each other. It's so funny. It is super sweaty when it comes to skill-based matchmaking. It's not supposed to be competitive. Has a lot of campers that just ruin the experience. Kind of still pretty decent in multiplayer, like especially the old ones. They just need to put a little bit more effort in, make it less of a cash grab. There are a lot of modes. S&D is fun but sweaty. I love the close quarters combat non-stop action COD has. And also has the best customization of the 3. So many guns. You can make an AR into an SMG. You can like turn something like a pistol into like a mid-range sniper. There's so much you can change. Customize scopes, different types of bullets, shoulder pads, barrels, grips, triggers, bullet amount of bullets in your magazine. There's so much to customize. It's crazy. Battlefield's multiplayer is fire. Nothing is more intense than parachuting into a war zone after your helicopter got shot down. You just parachute to the ground, you see it explode above you, and then it falls to the ground, crushes an enemy. When you get to the ground, you have to shoot enemies, but then you die, and you see your teammates trying to survive. It's just so chaotic and intense. The most popular mode is Conquest, has 64 players. The next Battlefield game, Battlefield 2042, is coming out in this year, probably like October or November. 128 players, not a battle royale either. It's just going to be 64 versus 64. Just like in Halo, every gun is usable, and destruction is a big part of Battlefield. Like on the, let's say, for example, on the Siege of Shanghai map, a skyscraper can collapse. The amount of possibilities that can happen is crazy. Modes are pretty good and pretty balanced. Maps are huge and really good. And really good vehicles makes things a lot easier by traveling and solving annoying campers. My biggest complaint is people who camp in the menu waiting for vehicles to respawn is annoying. Teamwork is a big part of Battlefield multiplayer. It is required. Working as a team is also much more fun. Playing your class correctly just feels awesome. It's so fun. Battlefield has some crazy trick shots. The customization is pretty similar to Halo's, but also you can cut, like in, let's say Battlefield 4, you can literally customize your entire gun. Similar to COD's Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War. Only Black Ops Cold War. Modern Warfare, not really. But customization is great. And it really can change the way how your gun can play. Compared to COD, it's not much, you know. Also has some custom servers similar to Halo's custom games, but it's not like as in-depth. But alright, so Call of Duty gets 0 points. Halo and Battlefield, I had to think about. I think Battlefield should get 2 and Halo 1 because Halo does not only does smaller battles, and some people may argue in custom games there is like big battles like Battlefield based modes, but there's still only 8v8 on a map that's like 3 miles wide with fighter jets and tanks, and it's only vehicles. There's no ground combat at all, which is not really what I like. But in Battlefield, there's so many players. There's a lot of ground combat. And Battlefield can also replicate the small scale gameplay like Halo size. So I think Battlefield offers the most. So Battlefield gets 2 points, Halo gets 1, and COD gets 0. So the last category is campaigns, and let me tell you, Halo's campaigns are one of the best first-person shooter campaigns of all time. I've never played Doom, I've heard that's really good, but like, Halo's campaigns, they just have some of the best stories, the best AI, the best missions, the vehicles work out, everything is just perfection when it comes to Halo's campaigns. Like the Covenant, let's say, they're just an alien, like a religious alien empire trying to kill all humans. The Flood, which is zombies pretty much, except they're like 10 times more powerful than zombies. There's the Forerunner race that made the Halo rings themselves, which can destroy an entire galaxy. And they made Prometheans, which are supposed to take out the zombie flood. There's like 4 different types of enemies, and I mean, all of them at least have like 4 different types of enemies. One of them only has 1, but sometimes they're your allies. The AI are just great. They're so smart. They take cover good. They use their weapons good. They all have different counters to them. They all have different health, different armor, you know, different heights, hitbox size. Everything about every enemy is just different. Halo's campaigns are also super replayable because the AI, they just do not get boring. It's almost like COD Zombies, you know? It gets boring, but like quicker than Halo's campaigns because the AI are just better. The AI are just so good. I cannot stress that enough. And skulls can also be used to modify the gameplay. Like you can modify the game completely. Turning on every skull, which is also known as lasso, put on the hardest difficulty, legendary, is suicide. It's bad. Every level offers something different. Some can be like super tiny hallways and stuff like that, filled with flood, or it could be vehicle based with Prometheans or something like that. You know, every mission offers something a bit different. And killing your teammates in Halo, they actually turn against you. So instead of so other games, they just don't let you shoot your teammates at all, or just resets you because it says friendly fire will not be tolerated. They actually turn against you, so it's pretty much like fighting humans like, at that point. The dialogue and characters are awesome. There's a couple boss fights. They're not like they didn't really try to stress out boss fights though. I mean they're cool, but I never really thought about I never really noticed there were boss fights till I thought about it. And Halo's music is just when you play, it makes you feel like you can do anything. I mean, it's not like good to listen to like outside of Halo, but like in Halo campaigns, it just feels good. Halo has one of my favorite gaming campaigns of all time. Next is Call of Duty campaigns. And let me tell you, these are some pretty fun campaigns. The only thing is with them is fighting them, all the enemies are the same no matter what faction you're fighting. Fighting Russians are the same, terrorists are the same, you know. It does get kind of annoying. The main difference could be weapons or just appearance on them. The stories are kind of simple, like Modern Warfare. I think Ghost. I've never played Ghost. I don't think. No, I've not played Ghost. But I'm pretty sure Ghost story is get the Russians out of America. A lot of them are get the Russians out of America. That's the main focus. I mean, Call of Duty campaigns also have intel. Similar to Halo Skull, they modify gameplay a bit. Some like just make the whole screen black and white, or some turn them into pineapple heads, where literally their heads explode if you shoot them, and they're like pineapples. It's kind of hilarious. And the characters and the dialogue in Call of Duty is awesome. The characters are just cool. Vehicles in COD's campaigns are alright. I mean, usually you don't even get to control them. Sometimes you're just like riding in and just shooting the machine gun out of it. Like, there is this one Black Ops Cold War mission. What is that name called? I forgot what that mission was called, but it was in Vietnam, and there was a attack helicopter that you got to fly. That was a pretty fun mission, but most of the vehicles aren't like anything crazy, usually just a machine gun section. In COD's campaigns, there was a lot of like epic moments, like helicopter crashes, chases through a town, lots of big explosions, just very action-packed, over the top. It's like an action movie, kinda. Every mission is a bit different. They have to make the maps different every time, because the AI are basically the same. And having a boss fight is like as rare as no cheaters in Warzone. COD is pretty decent campaigns. So Battlefield, the last category of the video and the last game we'll talk about now. Battlefield stories, I guess they're fine. The gameplay is not the greatest. The AI are just terrible. They are like Call of Duty times 10 is bad. They are pretty bad. They like try to shoot through walls. They only aim for you. They're bad. The characters are pretty forgettable, and I never remember their names. Sometimes I can't even remember their faces correctly. The AI literally stand in the open, take no cover, and wait to get shot. The vehicle sections are kinda cool, but the AI are still dumb as fart. Battlefield campaigns are mediocre at best. For the campaign section, Halo gets 2 points, COD gets 1, and Battlefield gets 0. So now, add up the score, whoever gets the most points win. Halo has 7 points. COD has 3, and Battlefield has 5. So Halo takes 1. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. If you enjoy a game that I said something bad about, this is mostly my opinion. Mine is probably different than yours. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you really enjoyed this garbage, you are a legend. Halo takes the win, and thank you for watching.